So this video is about another free photo editing software. This software is called Darktable, and it has very similar applications as Lightroom. It's a little harder to navigate. So the first thing you want to do is you want to import your image. So you go to Image, and then you can drag and drop or find the image that you want to use. So I can select it, I can select multiple ones, and I can open them. And so if you look in your light table, that's your library. If you look in your darkroom, that is your editing floor. So here is the editing tools that you're going to need. If you look at this open circle one, you have crop and rotate. So if you want to crop it in, if you want to move it, you have all those options. Same with Lightroom. But all you're going to need is, of course, we need our exposure. Now be very careful about these arrows. They are very sensitive. So you can move them over just slightly, get a little bit of exposure. So if you look, you also have things like white balance, which we can do our tint and our temperature. And if we go over here to our light levels, we can do our new highlights, our shadows, detail, which we're not going into. But we can also just bring down our highlights a little bit. Now, if you can see, I have a black dog here. And if I bring more shadow into it, it gets a little darker. If I bring less shadow into it, it gets a little bit more gray, which I do not want. I can bring up the midtones a little bit too. So I want her to be a little bit, I want to be able to see her beautiful dark fur. You can come over here to our color balance, which gives a little bit more. We have the contrast, as you know, is not something that we use very much. The saturation is not what we use very much, but you have a little bit more if you're want to learn how to do a little bit more of the photo editing. So you can also look over here, you can do the sharpen, again no sharp, we don't need to do that right now, the denoising, and we can go back to dealing with our temperature. If you notice it's a little hot in here, so we need to bring our temperature down to a little bit cool without making it too blue. And you can go through and see there's your, if you want your curve, want to crop and rotate, other exposure levels, black and correction as well, but there's not much that you need to do. These are very basic, and feel free to have a little bit of fun with it. But that's another one of those free software. So the way to export this is Control E on your keyboard, and it will export it directly. You can change the settings of your export if you want. You go. So that's another free software for you.